Okay, good morning, guys. I am now at the farmer's market, and I'm about to present documents to the farmer's market that I was not able to present last week. And these documents are the same documents that I had email and sent certified mail to the University of Auburn on Thursday. And basically let you guys understand what's happening here is at the farmer's market and at the University of Auburn, they're saying you have to wear a mask in public. At the farmer's market, it is an open market out in the open air, and they're saying you have to wear a mask to be able to enter. At my daughter's graduation today at 1:30 p.m. at the Auburn Stadium, they're saying that you have to wear a mask to enter. You will not be allowed to enter the graduation ceremony without a mask. I appreciate all the prayers and support that I was given, and I think here in about 6 hours it's going to be very interesting at Auburn University as far as what's going to happen, whether they will deny me to see my daughter graduate or they will allow me entry without violating my constitutional rights of my religious beliefs and my medical condition that prevents me from wearing a mask, and the fact that it is illegal to wear a mask in public in Alabama. But I want to read you real quick these documents, the actual letter that I sent to the University of Auburn, and the one that I am presenting to Farmers Market. Because what Farmers Market is doing right now is they're telling you all you guys, you have to wear a mask. But the law clearly states you have to wear a mask unless you have a medical condition and or it goes against your religious beliefs. And what I'm going to inform the lady of today is when she doesn't tell you guys that, she is committing fraud. And fraud is a very, very serious criminal offense. And also by denying people service, she's very much opened herself up to a civil lawsuit. So in love, I'm going to try to present these documents and encourage her to do the right thing and not commit fraud, and get her to fix her website where it says you have to wear a mask, and then afterwards it should say unless you have a medical condition and or it goes against your religious beliefs. So hopefully we'll get her to do that. If not, I'll be out here next Saturday and making my presence known and telling everybody the actual real law. But let me read the cover letter that I sent to Farmers Market and to the University of Auburn. And it says, constructive notice and warning notice to principal is notice to all agents, notice to agents is notice to all principals that forced mask usage violates the separation of powers doctrine, the religious clause, the equal protection of the law clause, the anti-discrimination clause of the United States Constitution, the Alabama Constitution, and the state and federal accommodation laws as confined at All Code 21.7-2 and All Code 21.7.3 and 28 CFR 36.2.02. I know that's a bunch of legal jumbos and legalese, but I've got to read it to you guys so you can understand, because this is the power of the pen. You know, what I'm doing today is May Day. You know, this is May Day, and this is a May Day to you patriots to stand up for the Constitution, to stand up for the truth, you know, to stand up for your religious beliefs. Because what is happening right now, you know, they're wanting us to put on a burqa and cover our face, you know, and practice the Muslim religion. And I have nothing against the Muslim religion. I have nothing against any religion, you know, but I have the freedom of choice. And I have the freedom here in America as of right now, because I don't think we've been taken over yet by the Chinese. It's in the process. If we don't stand up and do this May Day, you know, heard around the world to get these people to stand up and do the right thing. So in this document, it also goes on to say, to the market at Pepper Place, and I also sent this to Auburn University, in whom it may concern, this cover letter is meant to provide you advanced, constructive, and actual legal notice that I will not be wearing a mask in your place of business, which is place of public accommodation. Public accommodation, guys, under both federal law and state law. I'm not going to read the laws to you. Privately owned or publicly owned pursuant to law, religious convictions and religious beliefs which are constantly guaranteed and protected legal rights pursuant to the 1964 Civil Rights Act are enforceable via 42 UCC 1983. I, Christopher Key, and we, the public, suggest that the Market of Pepper place owners and business managers consult with a competent attorney to provide you the proper legal advice, assistance of counsel. By the 6th Amendment of the United States Constitution, you are required by your signed and filed application from a master's business license, which is in fact and law is a signed agreement and contract with the State of Alabama Corporations and License Division, whereby you and your business promise to comply with all federal laws and all state laws. And please be aware that if you refuse to provide me interest or participation in your place of public accommodation based upon my refusal to wear a mask, I could also sue you in the personal capacity. That's them personally. You can sue them personally, okay? And that's what we have to do on this. We hold these people accountable. You know, it's not the big corporations. These people that are putting these mask mandates in place, they can be sued personally. When they know that, they will stand down. But they're not going to stand down if we don't stand up, okay? Personal capacity, your business. I could also sue you and your personal capacity and your business for breach of contract with the state of Alabama and the people of this state. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution clearly provides that the Congress shall make no law representing the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress or grievance. Amendment First of the United States Constitution. Alabama Constitution is Article 1 and Section 3 similarly provides that Section 3, religious freedom. This is about religious freedom. Putting a mask on goes against my religious freedom, and you Christians, it goes against your religious freedom. So quit practicing the Muslim religion and putting your burqa on and take the freaking mask off. Why are y'all all walking around with masks on? And more importantly, why are you walking around with a mask on in open, out in the air, at the farmer's market? Why are you today at Auburn University going to be walking around in the stadium with the mask on? Why? Because your government or the university says you have to. You know, wake up, guys. You don't answer to them. You do not have to answer to these people. So quit answering to them and quit following their unlawful, illegal orders. You know, these executive orders are not law. Okay. Section 3, religious freedom. No religion shall be established by law, that no preference shall be given by law to any religious section, society, denomination, or model of worship, that no one shall be compelled by law to attend any place of worship, nor to pay any tithes, taxes, or other rate for building or repairing any place of worship, or for maintaining any ministry or ministry, that no religious test shall be required as qualification to any office of public trust under the state, and that the civil rights, privilege, and capacity of any citizen shall not be in any manner affected by these religious principles. Free exercise clause forbids government from adopting laws designed to suppress religion. God's law, Matthew 9:12, Mark 2:7, Luke 5:31, further says that the whole of the people don't need the doctor or a mask. Okay? That's in God's law. It says the whole of the people don't need the doctor or a mask, and that only the sick need the doctor or the mask. If you're sick, you're not sick, so take the freaking mask off. And clearly reads, now when Jesus heard it, he said unto them, the whole need not the physician, but that are sick. Matthew 9:12. Now when Jesus heard it, he said unto them, the whole have not need of the physician, but the sick. I came not to call the righteousness, but the sinners of repentance. Mark 2:7. Then Jesus answered and said unto them, they are whole, need not the physician, but that are sick. Luke 5:31. Please read the attached stapled legal notice flyers that provide you copies of the specific laws that I adopted by reference as fully stated hereon, and offer as proof for all future court recordings that your so-called mandatory mask warning policy regarding forced mask usage violates my constitutional rights under both constitutional state, federal, the laws of the state, the laws of the United States, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which are enforceable via Title 42, Section 1983. See also 18 U.S.C. 241, 18 U.S.C. 242. In anticipation that legal counsel was falsely advised you that the Alabama governor, Kay Ivey, fraudulently emergency proclamation of a non-existent disease pandemic allegedly overrides or supersedes any of the laws cited in said attached legal notice fly and or any of the laws cited here on the certified and registered mail from we, Christopher Key, object and argue that Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has knowingly and with malice committed a fraud upon the state of Alabama by issuing an emergency order without any supporting competent evidence or any legal foundation that any alleged disease pandemic even exists in the first place, and or did so without any proof that it is actually a virus or a bacteria. I'm almost there, guys. we, Christopher Key, further states that the Governor Ivey further has knowingly and is maliciously has issued federal fraudulent emergency proclamation of a non-existent disease pandemic with no competent admissible evidence of proof whether or not this alleged virus or bacteria is actually contagious or not. It is undisputed that Alabama Governor Ivey has knowingly issued a fraudulent emergency proclamation declaration with no competent admissible evidence or legal foundation that any purification test, isolation test, double-blind placebo test, or any other known test that meets the majority of the scientific community acceptance that rises to the minimum level and or meets the requirements of the Friary standards as stated in Friary versus United States 293 and or that meets the Durbert standards and stated in Durbert versus Merle Dow Pharmaceuticals, or that any other test has ever been conducted on alleged coronavirus or alleged corona-19 virus that would admissible into evidence in court pursuant to Evidence Rule 603, Evidence Rule 702, Donnelly versus United States, Maxson versus United States, Guards Jones on Evidence section, Wilmer evidence, there's a bunch of different court cases cited in here, is therefore undisputed that Alabama Governor Ivey has fraudulently emergency proclamation of an alleged and non-existent coronavirus 19 is 100% illegal and therefore null and void, non-protoc, that's Latin, my Latin's not very good, sorry, and to the beginning, almost there. Okay, one more page. Put your trust in the princes, nor in the Son of Man, for there is no help to him, Psalms 146:3, to wit, for the false brethren which was clarified sent in and crept in private to spy out on liberty which have in Jesus Christ, then that might bring into bondage. Galatians 2:4. Let him that stole steal no more. Let him rather labor and work for his hands the things which is good, and that may have to give unto upon him that needeth. See, 5:28. Indeed, it is touched on the qualifying immunity doctrine that a reasonable, competent public official should know that law governing his conduct. Harold versus Fitzgerald. To successfully establish a prima facie case under 42, a plaintiff must prove the following two elements. The defendant must, acting under the color state of law in an offering conduct depriving the plaintiff of rights secured by federal law. Parrott versus Taylor. In order to set a violation of clearly established right and defendant qualified immunity to defense, the right must sufficiently clear the reasonable official would understand that he is doing violates that right. Anderson versus Creaton. To doctrine protects all but the plainly incompetent or those who knowingly violate the law. To the end, we ask two questions to determine whether qualifying immunity applies, whether considering the allegation in a light most favorable to the party injured, a constitutional right that been violated, and to whether that right was clearly established. The courts are free to address these questions in sequence. Person versus Callahan. An individual who is wrongfully arrested or seized under the color of law can make a 1983 claim based on the Fourth Amendment, Brox versus Roth. Because of law is clearly established that absent providing cause to believe that an offense has been committed, officers may not arrest an individual. I, Christopher Key, am providing you and your place of business this advanced legal notice that I will not ever be wearing a mask for your place of business or to any of your meetings. I am not also providing you this advance legal constructive notice and warning that if you or anyone, including the Alabama State Police officers, city police officers, county sheriff, or any other type of Alabama State law enforcement officer, or any Alabama State conservation officer attempts to falsely arrest me for trespassing, or actually does falsely arrest me for alleged trespassing, for refusing to wear a mask at your meeting, which is not a crime in the state of Alabama or any other state, I will file criminal counter complaints charges of a civil and criminal conspiracy to commit bigotry, false arrest, false imprisonment, religious discrimination, libel, slander, defamation of character, offering false instruments for recording or filing and or false reporting of emergency against anyone who calls 911 to make false reports of an emergency, which is in fact and law there is no emergency violation, Alabama Code 13A. Oh my goodness. So those are the documents that I am presenting today to the farmers market, and that I presented or had sent certified to Auburn University and registered, and I sent it via text. Thank you for all you guys that called the University of Auburn. It was my understanding he had quite a few voicemails from you guys, and that I think we will see later this evening that even though Auburn is saying that their policy does not violate my constitutional rights, they are going to allow me entry, but they don't have to, is what they told me. But I'll still send them the documents, so we'll see if they'll stand down, which will be a huge moment for me and for all of us, because when you stand up and give them the truth, and we can win this war with the pen. And that's where we have to send these documents and let these people know that they're violating our constitutional rights, and we will not stand for it. I will not stand for it. So continue to pray for me. Let's see if we can present these documents to the lady here at Farmers Market and get these people to do the right thing, and remind people that if they have to wear a mask, that if they have a religious exemption and or a medical condition, they don't. And if they don't tell you guys that, they're committing fraud. So let's see what we can get taken care of right here real quick. Oh my goodness. Okay, Farmers Market. You can see all these people are going to have their mask on. Last week, I saw a mom with 2 kids with no mask, but everybody else did, so. So as you can see again at the farmers market, everybody is masked up again. They're all putting their mask on in an open air market. Okay, and look at this. This is what it says. Keep your mask on. In an open market, keep your mask on. Why are we keeping our mask on? Because the nanny state says you have to. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not have to keep your mask on. Everybody here has their mask on. Okay, there she is over there in the distance.
Your destination is on the right.
How are you today? What's the lady's name that was right here? What's her name? She just walked around the corner, but what's her name?
Oh, she's our market manager.
But what's her name?
Her name is Lisa.
Lisa, perfect. Okay. Lisa.
Any luck, Kristen? She is calling them. So we'll see if she calls back.
Okay. All right.
So.
All right. Well, just let me know.
Do you have 2 minutes?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You don't? Well, these are documents that I wanted to present to you. When we talked last week, you were telling everybody that they could enter without a mask, but they couldn't be lying to you. and you need to understand the American Disabilities Act.
I understand it.
Okay, can you give me 2 minutes?
I can't. The market's opening.
Uh-huh.
Don't follow me around.
I can follow you around.
No,
I can,
you can't follow me around.
I can walk with you. Yes,
I don't
can.
want you to walk with me.
I mean, it's a free country we live in.
It is, and I have the freedom to ask you to
Okay.
not walk with
You
me.
can't you want to let me ask you, say one thing to you, huh?
No.
So you don't like the documents then, huh? Well, you need to read them, okay, when you get a chance, okay?
Definitely read them.
You'll read them?
But you're harassing me.
I'm not harassing, I'm just giving you documents, okay?
You're harassing me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So there we go. You see how they don't like legal documents at all. They don't like to be presented with the truth, okay? So she has the documents now, and if she does not fix her website, and if she does not tell you guys the truth, she's going to have to deal with possibly a civil lawsuit. And like I said earlier, she's committing fraud, and that's a very serious crime. She's trying to say I was harassing her by giving her documents. How am I harassing her by giving her documents? Huh? Does that make any sense to you guys? So that's what we're dealing with here at Farmers Market. They don't like being presented with the truth, okay? They don't like it when you tell them the truth and when you call them out for what they're doing, okay? So all you people, come down to the Farmers Market next week, take your freaking mask off, and quit walking around in the nanny state with your mask on. Why do all these people, look, every single one of them have masks on. They all have masks on. I mean, this is beyond ridiculous to be wearing masks. But let's hope she called the cops. I would love to talk to the police this morning. Everybody's got masks on again. Oh, when are these people going to wake up? They're not. They're not going to wake up. They're doing as they're told. They're good little sheep. And it is so sad, you know, depriving their body of oxygen. I mean, it hurts my heart to see all these children that are masked up. Oh, there's a child that's not masked up. Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, she's got a mask on, but she didn't have a mask on her kid. So that's very nice. But everybody else has masks on. Why? They're wearing masks because they're told they have to wear masks. My goodness, it is so, so sad. Take that freaking mask off. No, she just got all mad, pissed off at me because I presented documents to her showing you guys, if y'all stand up and tell her no, okay, you have the right as far as your medical condition and or religious freedoms not to wear it.
Sure.
They can't do that. And if everybody would say no, then they would stop it. It's ridiculous. In a free market, open air, we all got masks on. It is the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Sure.
Well, good. You keep your mask on. Perfect. You protect Grandma and Grandpa, please. They need it. Now, don't breathe oxygen. That's good. How's things been going for you guys?
We're still here. I mean, it's been it was a hard year, you know.
I imagine that.
But we're still here. I mean, I still have my day job. So.
Tell your wife I said hello.
I will. She's around here somewhere.
Thank you.
What are you doing with the camera and everything?
I'm filming. Yeah.
What are you filming for?
Just showing people how in an open market people are walking around with masks on and how ridiculous that is.
I don't think it's so ridiculous to walk around with masks if they want to.
No, they can't. They got every right to, but I have every right not to. That's the whole thing. And you or nobody can tell me I have to. You know? There you go. And they try to tell you when you come in you have to have a mask on, but you don't, because if you have a medical condition and or religious exempt, you don't have to wear a mask if it goes against your religious beliefs. And they fraudulently don't tell you that. And that is called fraud, and that's a criminal offense. Do you know that?
I didn't know that was a criminal offense.
When you tell somebody they have to wear a mask and you don't, in the next sentence let them know that if they have a medical condition and it goes against their religious beliefs, if you don't tell them those two things, you're committing fraud. And it's a criminal offense.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought to defraud someone you had to like take their money or something.
Defrauding them is telling them a non-truth. Okay, so here is the farmer's market again, like I said, with all the happy people with masks on. So wish me luck. I'll be going to Auburn no mask. Thank you, God. I appreciate that. 2 people with no mask. Thank you. Please do not put a mask on. There's 2 people today with no masks. Me and 2 other people with no mask. Everybody else walking around like sheep with masks on. Following orders. Next, I'll be giving the same documents to the mayor here of Birmingham, because the reason why they're saying these people have to wear masks is because in Birmingham, their mayor thinks he's the new Hitler, and that he's put his executive order in place and has not pulled it down. So, okay, as you can see, all the vendors have their mask on, sadly. They're following orders like everybody, wearing a mask. My court date is June 9th, so please be praying for that. I will not stand down in my court. I will take this all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to, because I feel like I have not broken any laws and my constitutional rights have been infringed on, and that Whole Foods and Amazon and the officers that arrested me all violated that. So that will be coming up here shortly. These documents I got from Lewis Ewing. If you don't know Lewis, he is a former federal attorney. You can look him up on my page on my website, keystolife.info. You can see the interview we did last week going over everything. But again, you can see all these people with masks on. Nobody does not have their mask on except for the 2 people I saw earlier. We're all sadly walking around with masks. You got to see me give her the documents. She did not like that very much at all. She did not want to hear me and said I was harassing her for giving her documents of truth. It's amazing how these people can't handle the truth and don't want to see the truth, because what she's doing by telling everybody they have to wear a mask is fraudulent, because they can't enter this facility if they have a medical condition and or if it goes against their religious beliefs. So, and not to mention, it's against the law in Alabama to be wearing a mask. Why are the police officers not out here writing tickets for all these people? It's a $500 fine and up to 12 months in jail for wearing a mask. That's been on the books in Alabama for the last 70 years. And all these people are out here breaking the law of Alabama, and no police officers doing anything about it. Why? Because they're all just following our orders. You know, they're all going back to the Nuremberg trials and doing as they're told, and you see where that got them. So you guys need, oh, there's another person with no mask. Okay, wow. We've got 3 people here today with no mask. So maybe we can have 50 people who are next Saturday coming down with no mask on. Thank you so much for not wearing a mask.
No.
I so appreciate this.
No, I need to wear a mask. I'm wrong.
You're wrong? Oh,
I'm so wrong.
Oh my goodness. She's wrong and doesn't have a mask on. Oh, no, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. That's interesting. This woman didn't have a mask on, and she's saying that she was wrong for not having it. That is too funny. The programming, guys. Can you see the programming? These people are so asleep. I need not do anything to protect you. Your job is to protect your temple. That's what God commands you to do. Before I close out, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not a medical doctor. I do not practice medicine without a license. I'm not a lawyer. I do not practice law without a license. Anything I've said to you today is my opinion. Anything I say to you today is my opinion, even though I believe it's backed by scientific research, randomized double-blind placebo studies. I tell everybody, do not believe anything I tell you. Take it all with a grain of salt, and then do what the Lord commands you to do, and that is test and prove all things. Not some things, guys, but all things, and keep that which is good. And when you do that, you will find the truth, and the truth will make you free. So please learn that, do that, understand that What I've told you today is my opinion, which I believe is backed up with scientific research, that this is my First Amendment right of free speech. Facebook had me banned for 90 days from going live and for advertising. But after filing complaints with them, I finally got them to lift that today. So I'm hoping they don't pull me down for this live, because they will say this is fake news or everything I said is fake. But it is my freedom of speech and my First Amendment right to express that. They may not like it, but I can say it and you can say it. And hopefully we will continue to have a platform to speak in the near future. But if we don't stand up, guys, we will not. And that's what I'm asking all you guys to do. Is this is a May Day to all you people out there to stand up for the truth. Quit bowing down to these unlawful orders, because more is coming. We're going to have major outbreaks because all these people that have taken this vaccine, here shortly they're all going to be shedding it, unfortunately. And not to mention that these people, they have no more immune system. My understanding, again, I'm not a medical doctor, is that once you take the mRNA vaccine, it basically puts your immune system on fire. And these people are going to have to constantly take boosters just so their body can fight off anything. So you will see them, sadly, most all of them will be dead within my belief 1 to 5 years. Through my research, I do not see anybody lasting more than 5 years. And that's the one thing I'm going to be spending this next year doing, is trying to find the antidote or the cure for the vaccine, because I know how bad it is. I've talked to some of my very good health professionals that are in the same boat I am, and we know how bad this vaccine is, and we're looking to try to find a way to reverse it, because everything I know is science. Anything can be cured, but this, I do not know how to turn the mRNA vaccine off. And I don't think anybody else does at this point. If you know of anybody that does, please send me that information. I would love to get in touch with them, because the people that have taken this, even though they defied all the warnings that we've given them, we still want to help them. So please help me find anybody else that knows how to change this, because I know with science, everything, what is it? I went blank. Science, everything in science, when I'm born, it's testable, provable, repeatable, observable. But for every, okay, there we go. I'm sorry. For every action, there has to be equal and opposite reaction. So there has to be a way to turn this off, because if it was turned on, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We can turn it off. But we have to do lots and lots of research to figure that out. And we can do that, but it's going to take time. So do research on mRNA vaccines. Understand what is happening with the mRNA vaccines. Understand the mask. Take your mask off. Stand up for your rights. Please pray for me on my court date on June 9th, because I will not stand down. I will take this all the way. And if you listen to my interview with Louis Ewing, it's very probable that we'll be able to bring Governor Ivey, the medical advisory, and all those guys into my case for them to establish that they have evidence that there was a pandemic, because the reason why I was arrested was because there's a pandemic and I would not wear a mask and I would not allow these medical questions to be asked to me. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So wish me luck. Please watch. I'll be going live from Auburn University at 12 o'clock today for my daughter's graduation. I sent the same documents to Auburn, the provost, the head of the safety committee, and the medical director, Dr. Fred Cam. So hopefully they will stand down and allow me to see my daughter graduate in the open air stadium of Jordan-Hare with no mask on, where the other, how many knows how many people will be there, but they will all be masked up. Anybody that's going to the stadium, if you will tell them that you have a medical condition or it violates your religious beliefs, they are supposed to let you in. At least they've said that they're going to stand down with me, because they know I will bring a civil lawsuit against all of them, all parties involved, especially if I miss seeing my daughter graduate. So wish me luck. I'm about to head to Auburn now and see my fabulous daughter graduate from the University of Auburn. So thank you so very much.